Hey guys, Dave from Nerdarchy, for nerds, by nerds, and today I'm hanging out with Cody Lewis from Taken 20, and actually the mastermind behind Save or Dice.
What's going on, man? Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, thanks for popping on short notice. I was like, yeah, it looks like I'm flying solo today, or let me see who's online, and
You know,
you were it.
it's a little weird to me that you're doing the live streaming stuff and like you're doing the intros and the outros and stuff because like on Saber Dice, I've got to do I'm gonna do all this. So it's like a nice change. It's just like, all right, cool. I'm just let Dave handle this. I'm not worried about it. I'm just chatting.
You know how I feel when we do Save or Dice.
Dude, no joke, man.
You're
No
like, who
joke.
wants to be the sponsors? I'm like, ugh. I always do the sponsors.
Yeah,
But
it's
you
fun.
guys are like, but you never do the sponsor. I'm like, yeah, not here.
People, I bet people would find it really funny to see like our just before we go live chat where we're just like talking and hanging out and shooting this, just talking about whatever. Yeah. Oh, I don't want you to not be advertiser friendly here, so I'll but yeah, it's like who wants to do the sponsors this week? All right.
Yeah. We draw straws. See who gets this short one. So hey everybody in the chat, thanks for popping in today. So season 1 of Saber Dice is done and over with, and now we're moving on to season 2. You excited, man? You pumped?
Dude, I am. I've still got work to do, right? Like my character, I've still got some things that I want to work out for him. Like I got ideas on where I want to take him and kind of the theming of him, but there's still those few details I want to work out with Will.
I actually made
tomorrow
my character that I'm going to surprise Will with.
You made some changes?
Just one. Just one? I changed. Yeah, I'm still playing an artificer. He's still an alchemist, but that is not his archetype. I'm like, you know what? I'm a kobold. I need to be a gunsmith. I need to shoot at people standing next to my allies.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, you're totally going a total different direction.
But so the whole idea of the character is he's an arms dealer, right? So that part hasn't changed. I have like a +9 to use an alchemist lab. I'm like,
I refuse, Dave. There are no guns in Dungeons and Dragons, damn it.
Oh yeah. Surprise, sucker.
I know, right? Nothing I can do about it now.
Well, maybe I get vetoed too. Who knows?
Oh, you don't think? I don't know. Will's got like a pretty. I mean, he's invested in that setting, so he may. I don't know. It's interesting. How would I feel if I had one setting for multiple games and multiple streams going, and somebody wanted to introduce? I don't know. That's interesting. I guess we'll have to see. We'll have to see. Everybody will have to see tomorrow when they tune in, and if you have a gun or if you're throwing alchemy bombs.
Yeah. So I was sold on the alchemist until I was like, you know what? One of the best parts about Kobold is pack tactics. And I'm like, alchemists will never ever use that.
No.
And also, like, I won't tell people how the game's gonna start, but I'm like, oh man, I wonder how horrible this is gonna be for my character.
Oh, dude, you know what? Now that I think about it, you're right. You're gonna be in a really tough spot. I think I'm gonna put Will in a tough spot because I was reading Misty Step, to like not go too into depth, and like I don't know, man. I don't know. I think we'll have to come up with the reason why things aren't going to be as easy as just saying, okay, this is what happens. I'm trying so hard to like talk around what's going to happen. I'm trying so hard.
Oh my God, Jim Davis! If you don't spend an entire hour talking about why you hate dinosaurs, I'm rage quitting D&D.
Okay, dinosaurs are awful. They are no good. They're terrible D&D.
Oh man,
they're almost as bad as gunslingers. No, it's not that bad. I mean, high fantasy, it is what it is. I can buy like with what Wizards did this season, this last book, where it's like it's Chult, it's isolated, it's this section. But when you start introducing dinosaurs into like generic D&D settings that are just around and are just there on the mainland, that's when I'm just like, okay, dude, that would have so many more implications, right? Than just there's a small island, jungle island, or small section that dinosaurs are roaming in. Like that's the whole culture and everything like that. So I don't know. I don't like them in my regular games, but I like what they did with Tomb of Annihilation. Is very, very tasteful. So no complaints there.
Now I want to use a Tarrasque that spits zombie T-Rexes that spits zombies.
Dude, What would you even set? What is the normal Tarrasque CR? 30?
Yeah, but it's a weak 30. The Tarrasque in 5e is a chump.
You think so?
Absolutely. We did a legendary encounter, and everyone knew they were fighting a Tarrasque, and they just beat it so bad. And then my brother, like he did a vengeance tour for the Tarrasque and did another like legendary encounter, but didn't tell them what they were fighting.
Mm-hmm.
And he added a couple of other, I think they were like war chief orcs or something that were kind of like driving the Tarrasque to another Tarrasque to mate. So there was like other combatants, and he ended up being like a TPK.
Well, I mean, did he really expect it to go any differently than that? To just wipe everybody?
Well, they never got to the second Tarrasque if necessary.
Oh my God.
But just the orcs, and he ended up with like 3 players for the game. So, yeah, but I think part of the problem is I would do things if I was running the Tarrasque, like have the Tarrasques like scoop up huge chunks of earth and hurl it at the players if they tried outranging him.
Yeah, if they're trying to kite him and stuff like that.
Yeah. And that's the weakness of the Tarrasque, because you can basically kite him. So I would just have him like throw shit.
Honestly, I haven't looked at. I don't think I've looked at the Tarrasque stat block since the book release, like 2 years ago. So it's like, how much do they even have? A whole bunch of extra action economy? I don't think they do. Like, I know that they have some legendaries, but I'm trying to think about. I think that's always the problem with big chunky CR creatures, is when your players do like 10 things and then the monster does 2, and then the players do like 10 things. It's like, okay, so you're going to totally out action economy the hell out of this monster, and the CR is really, really inflated versus what it's actually going to end up being.
So they're informing me in the chat that my pack tactics will not work outside of melee.
I was about to say melee. Is that a new Disney movie? What? Okay, melee. Yeah, okay, I got it.
I'm waiting for the English language to conform because I think it's hilarious when people prove me wrong by spelling it completely different phonetically than it's presented. I'm like, that doesn't really help the argument, in my opinion.
But dude, there's lots of okay, spell kernel. Okay, it's like, yeah, I mean, there's words that are awful.
It's broken. The language is broken.
Yeah, it's totally broken.
Not the way I speak, the way the language is written.
I had to laugh at this one comment. We fought a Tarrasque Lich once. The DM was peeved because we goofed off all night. A party of level 3s died in the first round. We re-rolled next week. I think that whole thing could have just been, we fought a Tarrasque Lich once. We re-rolled next week.
Oh man,
it's terrible. I love it.
The old days were kind of rotten for playing. We had one DM that had these made up monsters, and the first round, which was a surprise round, they dropped like every wall there was on our players, and there was 4 of them, and they each did it. So it's like, wall of stone, wall of ice, wall of fire, wall of force. And like back then, if your character died, you just started at level 1. It didn't matter what everyone else was. And we had just had a half party wipe before that, so there were like 3rd level characters.
Dude, I gotta tell you, that's the one thing that I miss from old school gaming. Not the other BS of the like super grind, like super trap filled and all that stuff, but there's something to be said about losing a character, because 5e is so hard to kill people anyways, right? I mean, like, nobody loses their character in 5e. You gotta really get targeted by your DM or be, really outclassed in combat or making some serious mistakes. But I just feel
one of our first sessions we had to kill.
Is it Lost Mines of Phandelver?
No. We don't play modules in pre-written adventures.
That's true. Well, because the bugbear in that was brutal. But
yeah, heads like 4 orcs, they can handle that. And one of the players got dropped, and they failed their first death save, and no one had a healer's kit. And the only character I think that could get to him failed the medicine check. His next death save was a crit will fail. So it can happen.
Okay. Low level characters might be the exception in 5e, admittedly. But I've been in so many games where I've seen people like give up a character or finally lose a character, and then the DM's just like, okay, roll up another character at, you know, the same level that everybody else is at. And it's like, well, I mean, what's the point? What do you care? Okay, so my level 5 sorcerer died. I'm gonna go roll a level 5 wizard. Like, hi, I'm your twin brother, and like you just continue on like nothing happened. That kills me. I miss that from old school D&D. That I don't think
at the beginning.
Yeah, I don't think that's. I can't think of anybody on the forums or anybody that talks about dying and then having to start over with experience at level 1. I think that's a big portion of the game that I wouldn't mind seeing come back a little bit. Just my thoughts.
See, I just don't think it's fun. I don't know if it's fun to do that, to come back, be a character, not be good at anything.
But it's like the sense of accomplishment. I mean, versus. I mean, I get what you're saying. Where you're like, oh, I'm gimped. I can't do shit. Combat's boring for me. Yeah. So I don't know. It is a catch-22, I guess.
So you know what? I am glad that I was able to say I've been there and did that. I personally don't feel a huge need to revisit. Like, even like in our own games, we play, not everyone shows up, right? So well, one, we haven't used XP in forever. Two, you know, it's just everyone is the same. We just keep everyone the same level just because it's easier, and we're just so beyond the point of penalizing people for life. Yeah, people that legitimately try and show up and want to be there.
Yeah, I mean, in today's setting with 5e, you know, with being able to just game online, I think it's a ton easier to make sure that people are still showing up for games and stuff like that. How many in-person games do you have right now a week?
We've got 3 running
that are in person.
Yeah, in person a month.
Per month.
Yeah.
So 3 games every week in a month, like, or 3 games a month.
No. So 3 weeks out of the month we have a game in person.
Wow, that's so crazy. Even the old curmudgeon Nerdarchy boys are all playing online now. That's crazy.
We never did anything online until we started Nerdarchy. I guess I lurked at the Atomic think tank for a while, and End World a little bit, but pretty much. And the End World, that was before it got nuked. I don't know if you remember that.
Ian World. They didn't. You're talking about them losing everything like a year ago, half a year ago?
No, it was longer than that.
Oh, longer than that? No, because they did lose everything recently, is why I'm asking. So no, I wouldn't have been on Ian World the first go round.
Yeah, so like that, and I would be on there. But I was always a lurker. I never really commented or really interacted that much. It wasn't until we started doing Nerdarchy and we're like, hey, people are really doing a lot of stuff online. Who knew? We started looking around, and honestly, like a lot of the channels that you probably watched when you came on weren't the ones we were looking at. Like, we started with like Noah Atweiler, Spoonie.
Yeah. And I'm getting some feedback. Did you got some speaker issues?
Nothing's changed.
Okay, that's rude. Yeah, I've watched Spoonie a little bit, but my inspiration, like, you guys were some of the first few channels that I was watching. Matt Click from A Fistful of Dice was like a big inspiration to me. I was like, oh my god, I want to do this. Like, that's when I was like, okay, I want to game more. I want to be involved in this more. Was some of Matt Click stuff, and then the reason I was like, all right, I'm gonna make a video about Roll20 was Dave with, at the time he called his channel Tabletopping. Tabletopping.net, and now I think he's a digital DM. But so it was weird because he was like one of the main reasons why I saw his Roll20 tutorials and was like, these are great. You know, I think I could do some other ones for monster manuals. And he kind of left to go off to Fantasy Grounds, and he went exclusively there. And I just passed him this week, and so for me it was like just in subscribers. You know, he's got like 3,000 videos and a whole bunch more views. But for me, it was like a really surreal moment, a little bit. He was definitely one of my biggest inspirations. And of course, I think everybody watched Andrew at one point or another. Everybody's seen Andrew. WebDM wasn't really on my radar, nor was like Black Magic Craft or any of the crafting channels. But you guys, A Fistful of Dice, Digital DM, and then of course Andrew. You guys are like all the reasons why I started doing this in the first place.
For us, it was passing a fistful of dice.
Yeah.
Wow. Admittedly, I acknowledge it's like beating someone in a race who isn't running, but
anymore. Yeah, he's not running anymore. It's crazy, man. I just love what Matt does so much, and he just doesn't put anything out. And it's like, buddy, I would watch the hell out of you, man. Make some more content.
Yeah, I mean, now I think on his channel, the only thing you can find is gameplays, maybe.
Mm-hmm. He does some provoker stuff, and then he's like all about writing, and their whole Kickstarter that they did, the Oath of the Frozen Throne or something like that. But yeah, Matt was great. His video on fun Trump story Trump's rules is like, I have told myself 10 times I'm never going to remake that video because it was just about perfect. But I think just because I may do my own twist on that anyways, just because I think that it's like the quintessential lesson to new dungeon masters is, hey, the rules are the last thing that you need to be worried about. I mean, that's just my personal play style, and I think it behooves for dungeon masters to do something like that. I think it makes for better gaming.
I think that's part of the popularity of 5e. Is it's going back to that, which was very much AD&D and how things were written. Like every game was different from table to table, and 5e really invokes that. And a lot of the times when they answer questions, you get that same vibe, and it says it in the book a lot of times. Where when you got Pathfinder in 3.5, they spelled out so many freaking rules that as the GM, you're kind of gimped because your player would be like, well, look here, obviously you can still change the rules, but because it was such a rules heavy system, it makes it much harder, and your players are going to rail against you, more, I think.
So that's my question to you. So like, I know you're not a big Pathfinder fan, right? Like, it's not that you hate the system, but you're just not a big fan of it. So you had to have spent many, many, many hours playing 3.5, right?
Yeah, that was our jam.
I mean, I feel like 3.5 is still my home base too. I played a little bit with Thaco, however you want to pronounce it, 2-hit armor class 0. But realistically, my like home base was 3rd and 3.5. So what did you guys do when 4th edition came out? I mean, I know I can see the books behind you, but were you guys like really heavily into it?
I've drug my group screaming and kicking to pretty much every edition of the game. I guess I'm just a D&D fanboy at the end of the day. I didn't mind the 4th edition. There was things I really liked about it. We played for about 18 months, I want to say. But what 4th edition kind of opened the door for us with was experimenting with other systems. Now, before I started with the Nerdarchy group, I played a lot of different systems. Then we moved into Nerdarchy, or into the group that would later become Nerdarchy, and it was primarily D&D. Occasionally we'd experiment, but that was so rare. We moved from 4th edition into playing Mutants and Masterminds, and because someone wanted to play a Heroes Unlimited game, and I started playing this, I'm like, I think I would rather play Marvel Phase Rip than play this.
Well, what's the system though? I don't know much about Mutants and Mastermind. Is it D20? Is it dice pool? D20 system?
Yeah, Mutants and Mastermind is a D20 system, and the Heroes Unlimited is based off of Palladium. So I just didn't like how different and how unbalanced all the classes were to each other. It felt like a superhero version of AD&D, where the classes had like no balance. Like the best example is if you look at Rifts, where you can be like operating a mech, or you can be like a hobo. So so it's a little bit different.
So if you went from 3.5 into 4th edition, and then after 4th edition, Pathfinder released. So when Pathfinder was building back up, and people were reverting back to 3rd edition in 3.75 with Pathfinder, you guys were just totally into 4E at that point, or what? Like, what's the story there? Like, we
like I said, I'm getting there in a roundabout way. So we ran some Heroes games with Mutant Masterminds. Then we ran a fantasy game with Mutants and Masterminds. Then we ran a urban fantasy Dresden Files world game with Mutants and Masterminds. We just used that system
over and over and over.
Oh yeah, for all the games we were running. It's classless, and when you make a character, your character is completed. It's done. you don't grow very much like you do in D&D.
Well, I mean, so you're playing Mutant Mastermind, and then you did that all the way till 5e, or did you go back to 4e?
We
Had a
played
lot of books back there to say that you never went back to 4e.
I told you we played it for about 18 months.
Okay, that's it though.
Yeah, but no, we actually, my brother moved back, started running a Dark Sun Pathfinder game, and we played like 3 or 4 sessions, and then we were in the 5e.
Yeah, just jump right into 5e then.
Dude, literally, like we had this one combat, and it was like 45 minutes long, and my brother was being such a gotcha DM. Like we're like, it's Dark Sun, so resources are limited. We're fighting this flying creature. My character is the only one that has a missile weapon, and he shouldn't be the one using the missile weapon because he's actually the melee fighter. And like everything we tried, there was like, there was nothing to really done. And it's like, it was almost like he just wanted to punish us for not having missile weapons, which we wouldn't have been that great with.
Anyway. You would have been good with anyways.
and then we had like a couple of Thri-Kreen, so they were invalid targets essentially, because you can't trying to hit a Thri-Kreen with a missile weapon is like useless.
So what you're saying is your brother was just brutal.
Yeah, and it's like there wasn't. You're in a desert, so where do you run to? There's no real cover.
So I played last week with my younger brother. It's been a while since I played with him because I was playing with him regularly, and then obviously with Saber Dice, I've got a family, so I'm he understands that I can't do that many games that often. So I had a chance to play Saber Dice and then his game last week or 2 weeks ago, whatever. And dude, he did the same damn thing. It must be something about younger brothers that are just like gonna just stick it to you because it's their chance to, man. It's just like the most brutal thing ever. Like we're fighting these 3 hags, and they got all these spells going, and then we kill one, and then they have these candles up as an altar and like these little skulls with candles on them, and then I'm sorry, this chick gets back up, and one of the candles goes out. And we're like, oh my god. This is like, we had to basically kill like 10 of these hags or whatever by the time to get through this combat, and they're summoning things and casting all kinds of horrible save or die, and it was the most brutal combat. It's the most brutal combat I think I've been in a long time.
I don't mind brutal. I just don't want there to be a point.
Yeah,
brutal just because, or if it's a no-win situation that you can't back out of, and you had no way of not going into it either. So that kind of stuff. I'm like, well, this isn't fun.
You don't want to be railroaded to your death.
Well, yeah, I guess no one wants that, but So like we played that, and then we played like a game of 5e soon after that, and I was kind of like, I will never fucking play Pathfinder again. I can't do it.
Okay, our experience was almost identical, right? Like we were in Pathfinder, and because you got to remember, when 5e came out, it was like, dude, Wizards had given us 4e, for years beforehand, and it just felt like they were putting out all this stuff. And I played 4e like twice ever, and I hated it. And so all Paizo had done was, well, admittedly, while they were putting out a lot of product, but it was like, it just felt different, man. It just felt like it's just options for you guys. It's just a lot of options. Take what you want. We're putting everything online for free, anyways that we're publishing. Buy our book, support us if you want. And it just felt like Paizo was treating the core player group so much better than Wizards. And so when 5e came out, Wizards had been trying to like restructure the way that they appear and kind of rebrand themselves. And we were like crazy hesitant to even try 5e. And when we finally decided to pull the trigger, we played one session of it, and we all stopped and we're like, was that as crazy fun for you as it was for me? And everybody's like, yeah. And it's like, is this what we're doing for now on? And everybody's like, yeah, pretty much. Like, let's play 5e now. And it was awesome.
So I will say I'll play any system, even Pathfinder. I just wouldn't run any system. You know what 5e really did for me, playing it for a little bit, was like, it made me realize all the things I missed from AD&D that I didn't know I missed.
Yeah.
I was so enamored with when 3.5 and 3.0 came out, with the fact that you could do all these customizations and do all these things with your character that you could never do before. Like everyone was pretty much the same. And so that was really awesome to having these choices and these options. But then, like, as you grow as a gamer and you realize that, like, in 5e, when you make a character choice, it has a huge impact on how your character feels and looks. And in retrospect, when I look at Pathfinder and any of the 3 points, you realize it's a bunch of microtransactions by themselves that don't really mean anything. You've got a couple big choices that make a difference, like your class and your race, but everything else after that is like all these, oh, here's +2 when you're trying to do X, and if you add up enough of these things, it has a cool feel where, like, in 5e, you take a feat like Magic Initiate and, like, your character is completely forever changed.
Yeah, I kind of get that. I will admit, I was excited about Starfinder, and I still am excited about Starfinder because I 5e is great, but dude, there's some things that really bug me about it, and sometimes it feels like when you play a lot. I think that's why I like playing only one game a week at a time, and 2 or 3 here or there, is because I think you kind of get washed out with it really quickly. Like, is there really that big of a difference between this character and that character? Is there I don't feel scared at all with my characters very much in combat. I don't like the fact that when you die, you just hit 0 and a bonus action can get your ally right back up, and that they can just stand up. I knock them down. My allies are right there. It's their turn next. They stand up. Okay. And, like, there's no flanking. Like, there's definitely some like of the mechanical stuff I think that I miss in 5e. Healing, attacks of opportunity being dumbed down, I didn't like flanking, stuff like that. So I don't know. I wouldn't mind seeing some more mechanics in the next edition.
I've been known to attack down characters in 5e.
Yeah,
Ted took it a little personally. They were fighting this Myconid Lich vampire thing, and Ted was the only one doing lasting damage to it, or radiant damage.
Mm-hmm.
So once he dropped him, he stomped on him at least once. 2 death saves.
Dude, yes, you should be able to attack. It's okay. My stance is you are allowed to coup de grace your players. I'm just going to throw that out there. So, especially if you're making them roll back up at level 1. Just coup de grace the shit out of them, man.
Yeah, well, and also too, it just depends on the circumstances. Like in that case, I was like, this guy is so enraged with what you've been doing to him the whole combat that he's just going to take it out on you now. So he will take one of his attacks to stomp on your body.
Dude, I see Jim Davis, our magnificent bastard dungeon master for season 1 of Saber Dice. He wants me to run a Starfinder game for Saber Dice. What do you think, Dave?
Man, season 3.
Would you play a Starfinder game?
Listen, dude, I am playing right now. I'm playing in a game that has been dead for about 30 years. So yeah, I'd play in a Starfinder game.
You play.
Dude, we had all kinds of technical issues last night. Like, how great are our fans? Like, for 2 hours, we had people hanging in the chat, like 15, 20 people. And one of our players would just keep giving them updates.
Oh my gosh.
On what was going on in the game.
Dude, having fans like that are into that, like that's a rare gift, my man. That's a rare gift. Does it still surprise you how many people like tune in to Saber Dice and are like actively every week totally involved in that project?
Not really. I mean, because I think all of our channels have seen it on a smaller degree, and then when you lump us all together, it's just going to multiply. So, gameplays get less views standardly anyway. But I guess Saber Dice, we hang around 80 people that are like there every week watching. So that that's really cool, and that number can go up and down. But it is super cool that people want to hang out and do that.
Honestly, because like I don't know how you feel about streaming, because like you run your your Scarlet Sisterhood game, right? That's the title of it. Yeah, you run your Scarlet Sisterhood game. You run other games that you live stream. How do you feel like as a dungeon master having the chat going? Do you involve yourself with the chat when you DM or play at all?
When I am running my Scarlet Sisterhood, I will have it open and off to the side. I will observe it, but I pretty much just run through the game. I might answer a question once in a while, but if they do something and they say something cool, I will incorporate it into the game. And and I think they really appreciate that.
Dude, I love getting the feedback from viewers. Like, as much fun as it is to just be involved in the game, it's like it brings me to like a whole nother relaxation point of like, dude, everybody is making as few jokes as we're cracking and having a good time. I could just see chat and it's just filled with like a whole bunch of people like just joking it up and killing us and having a good time and poking fun. Like, man, that has made gaming my weekly game even more fun. I thought it would be distracting, but it might be to some point, but man, it is fun. When we had viewers counting up how many times Jim Davis was saying the word Mance
dude, I didn't know what they're doing. I'm like, why do they keep putting that? What does that mean?
They're just like 17, 18, 19, and just, oh my God, so much fun to do. And I mean, I think that's something that the YouTube viewers, they miss out on some of the chat stuff that goes on, but it's still, at least I like the fact that we can bring it over for them to be able to watch later,
Jim Davis says ADHD makes the chat too distracting.
You know what? He would specifically not watch the chat this season because he was running the game. So I'm curious if he's going to have the chat going this season and be involved in the chat. We'll see. Jim Davis, are you gonna be chatting with everybody this season? Have you decided?
The really interesting thing is going to be watching Will Jones, because I've had him on here, and he's actually going to be on here Monday. Him and Sydney are coming on. They've had a lot of stuff going on since the last time they've been on. So, when I had him on, he was like having a conversation with me while talking in the chat at the same time. Literally, no, speaking
yes.
and typing. I'm like, I'm like, sorry, your boyfriend, fiance, whatever he is, he's a freaking android. I'm just trying to let you know this.
Dude, he did that during the Starfinder premiere game with Ted and Pruitt. And then Will Jones, like Owen Casey Stevens is over there doing his best to like get us all lined up and everything and keep us on track. And Will's like, oh yeah. And then he's like playing he's like role playing his android all like, I wish I had some love. And he's like just like tapping over here on the side.
I think that is actually the real Will Jones.
Yeah, right? The Android version?
Yeah.
If only I could feel some love. I was just like, dude, you're killing me.
Oh my God. Like I've only played with him in one game so far. And that was for the Breath of Gore. They did like a 12-hour stream. So they ran a bunch of different games. And it was insane. It was a pirate school where like it started off with us having to go to the village and convince the villagers to give us their children for pirate school, and then we had to be teachers in the pirate school. I was playing
so good.
What was it? A College of Lore bard goblin named Snacks, and like the things that we used those kids for, and the things that were done to that kids were not good at all.
What is it with you and kids?
Dude, I don't know, man. I just walked into that one, and this one, it was never me. I don't start it. And look, when I took an active role in the kids, like I was trying to help them and save them. In that other game, man, it was awful. It was just so bad.
Oh my gosh.
You have to ask him about the Jeff Star.
The Jeff Star?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll have to ask him about that.
I don't know if he can remember because he runs so many games.
It's probably true. That kid, like he's so young and talented. It's frustrating as hell, man. It's like we're over here grinding, and it's like I'm finally 30, and I was like, okay, I gotta grasp on what I want to do in my life. I know where I'm kind of headed.
I know
this kid's just like, oh yeah, I'm on the D&D stream from Wizards of the Coast. I moved to another country with my girlfriend from another country after that. It's just like,
yeah. Well, you missed your calling, man. You should have just became a D&D sex icon, like Will.
I should have. You know what? Hey, I am a D&D sex icon, sir. Okay, do you see these eyebrows? I mean, they're magnificent. I mean, really look at them. They're magnificent.
Oh my God.
season 2 is going to be fun because I was thinking about just the accents. Like, are you going to even be able to understand him this season with all your jerseyness?
We'll see. So Doug asked the question. He says, I should call out David Harbour live to be a guest. I actually tweeted at him today. See if he would come on SOD.
Dude, we wanted to do guests on season 1, and it just didn't
line up.
Yeah, it just didn't. It was all still new, and we're trying to kind of balance everything. And then when Andrew was kind of like, "Hey,
we're trying to learn how to roll dice on fantasy grounds."
Yeah. That's exactly it. So, I think we should definitely do ghosts. We should do ghosts. I think we should definitely do guests for season 2. Man, I don't know. There's people. I'm curious if people would rather see. I'm sorry. I'm looking at this. Darn, that Cody is so hot right now. One look. I'm curious if people would rather see like other D&D YouTubers and Twitch streamers, or if they would rather see like I don't know, gamer YouTubers or just celebrity person. I mean, obviously having celebrities on would be cool, but like I'm just curious if they'd rather see people involved in tabletop role playing game or just big personalities,
right. Like a David Harbour or a DM Scotty. Like, yeah, what are they interested in? Yeah, that's a good question. I see people also asked about ghost guests. My brother. So I also I saw Satine's name thrown out. The problem with Satine and Rudy is I believe they stream when we stream. So we can't. So they would probably do it. We just can't get them in because of schedule conflicts. And that's the other problem too. It's like a lot of the people we know or others that are stream when we're doing stuff. So that makes it hard.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I'll start a channel. Time overlap. Man, I would love to see. I'll tell you. I'll say it once. I'll say it again. I would love, and I haven't even reached out to him. I probably should. I'm gonna wait for season 2 to get on its feet, and then I'm gonna reach out to him. Dude, I want to see Boogie on. That would be so cool to have Boogie. I know he's like a huge YouTuber. Yeah. But like he's just like a guy that I think is like really down to earth, and he's he's a big gamer anyways, and all kinds of stuff, and amiibos and Pokemon cards and streaming Mario Odyssey and playing all kinds of stuff. And so I feel like Boogie would be like so much fun to have on. That's who I got to go with, man. I got to reach out to Boogie. We'll just have a whole bunch of people spam him.
Yeah. Well, yeah, guys, spam whoever you want to have on. There's definitely people seconding the Boogie movement.
I'm reading some of the comments and it's like there's so much.
Other women in D&D. That's another one too. Like we could see who, like, and again, it comes down to a lot of people that I know are doing stuff are streaming. So it's like, and they're busy. So that's the hard part.
Mm-hmm.
Like I would love the game with Amy Vorpal again. She was a blast. Her and Amy Dallin and Satine, all three of them together in a game was just hilarious. They played Halfling Sisters. And it was just amazing.
Are you serious?
I'm absolutely serious. Yeah, that was the game me and Andrew were in. And it's funny when Andrew was sitting down next to me. He looks over my character sheet. He's like, Paladin, neutral evil, huh? That's for me, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think we talked about that last time that I was on on the live chat, was that there wasn't a whole lot of it's just not like a whole lot of choices, like I see those comments pop up every once in a while. They're like, why are you 5 white guys with beards? And it's like, well, first off,
I wouldn't call what Cody has a beard. God damn it. You're quoting people with beards everywhere.
Oh my gosh. But it's like, dude, when we put Saber Dice together, I mean, behind the scenes, what people don't realize is that we've got like a collaborative group, organization, whatever you want to call it, association that we put together to just network with everybody. And
content creators.
They're just people making good content in tabletop role-playing games, and they're all white guys. Like they're all dudes. There's just not a lot of women. If there were more women doing what Nerdarchy is doing and doing what, how to be a great game master is doing and doing what WebDM is doing, hell yeah. Like, it's not a thing for us against them. It's just, there's just not a lot of options out there.
Do you mind if I pull back the curtain a little bit?
No, that's fine. You can pull back the curtain. Go nuts, man.
When we started Saver Dice, you were at like 3,000 subscribers. So you're a little fish in the pond, and you wanted to do a collaborative thing to help grow your channel. And, I'm sure you wanted to actually game with us too and hang out a little bit. But, from the idea of doing collaboration, you're always looking to pull people in that are at your level or higher in order to grow. And that's exactly what you did. And unfortunately, in this space, there isn't a lot of other, creators, people of color, or women doing the same thing that we're doing at our level. So, and it's not to say that they can't, or the ones that are doing it aren't as good, but it takes a heck of a lot of dedication to get out there, grow a channel, and do everything. Like one of the things that Doug likes to point out about Nerdarchy is where there's channels that they grow a strong channel, or they have a website, or they do this other thing. Like Nerdarchy has always been cross-platform, and we've always grown them all and tried to grow them equally. So that takes a shit ton of work. And we just haven't seen other people to collaborate and do stuff with. But when we do find them, we try and hang out, and if they like the stuff we like, then we're going to probably get along.
I mean, yes, that's exactly it. And and maybe it's funny you mentioned the being at 3,000 subscribers, because what I've been thinking for a while if I want to do a video on just show people how to make a YouTube channel and how to grow it like crazy fast. Because collaboration is key. And on my channel, I collaborated with people that had 1/10 of my subscribers, and I collaborated with people that had 10 times my subscribers. And I've done both of those things, and no problem. Small people, no problem. Big people, absolutely, bring it on. And you're right. It's not a matter of do we want to have more diversity. It's a matter of it's just not there. It's just not there. I think streamers are a little different. And yeah, there are some streamers that have 2,000 followers and stuff like that. But when you're putting together a big collaborative effort with YouTubers, and you're looking at working with people who enjoy YouTube. There's so many people that watch YouTube that do not care about Twitch. There's people that watch Saver Dice on YouTube that are like, they're not interested in watching us live. They'll watch us on YouTube when they're driving to work and listening to us Bluetooth through their car or whatever. And so it's just not there. I hope people understand. It's not a desire of yes or no, this is what we want. It's like, it's just not there, man. It's just not there.
So one of the things I ought to bring up too is, like, someone mentioned, well, what about Geek and Sundry, right? Well, Geek and Sundry, and I can say this because I've been on Geek and Sundry, and I imagine everyone that appears on Geek and Sundry is paid talent. So that is completely, it's not even the same at that point. They're creating content, and they're kind of in the space, but they're hired to do it. They're work for hire.
Yeah, and I mean, think about for us, like we'll pull the curtain back. For our sponsors, it was like, okay, look, we're putting together a collaborative effort. It's a new show. We haven't even had our first episode yet. We have no numbers for you guys, but we all have large audiences already built. If Saver Dice grows and grows and grows and grows and grows, and we start adding extra shows and we're doing all these extra things with Saver Dice, then yeah, absolutely, we can bring on people that don't already have audiences to come to Saver Dice, because Saver Dice has grown to that point. And that's what Geek and Sundry is. Geek and Sundry can put anybody they want on, because people are going to watch Geek and Sundry because it's Geek and Sundry. And it just doesn't work that way for Saver Dice right now, or for anybody starting up. It just wouldn't work that way. People aren't going to tune in just because your content's good. They're going to tune in because they already know your content is good beforehand, not because you're making good content for your new project.
There's also certain risks that you can't really afford to take before you hit a certain level. Because if you do, it's suicide, right? And it'll be as if you never tried to do the thing anyway. It's just figuring out when you're big enough that you can actually take those risks and get away with it, or even maybe be rewarded for them. It's just, you know, an unfortunate part of society and where we are at today. I mean, it's getting better. It's one of the reasons why I started the Scarlet Sisterhood game, is just because I wanted to see, I wanted ladies to be able to come online and be able to see a game of women playing D&D. And you know, I've said this before publicly, I've said it privately. I'm like, the only thing that would make this game better is if we could get me out of it, and you know, and have, you know, and have a woman DM for them instead. But you know, like, even the players that I have, a couple of them are DMs, and they're like so happy to be in my game because they don't have to DM and they get players.
Yep. I know that feeling. But so, I mean, you know, I hope you guys enjoy this particular discussion. I know it's different, but I don't know. I like talking the business aspect sometimes as much as just talking actual gaming.
You know, it's funny too. Like, we actually, in our in-person game, our Star Wars game, one of our players, Alyssa, was actually like railing on the fake gamer or girl gamer thing, and I'm like, well, like, I have a different point of view, and like, even other YouTubers have mentioned whether it's because they're gaming because they think that it's going to further a career, or whether they're gaming, and that's for anybody, not just ladies, but for anybody, or whether they're at the table because a spouse or significant other is at the table. You know, I don't have a problem with those people. I don't care that they're not attentive and they're not there for the game, because my hope as a gamer and someone who wants to spread the hobby is that someday maybe they will be. Maybe not today, but at least they're getting exposed to it. At least they can see friends having fun doing this thing, whether they're into it or not. But you know, it's exposure for the hobby. It's, you know, exposure for that person to, you know, what gamers are like. So I don't think there is a bad way to come to the table, as long as people come to the table. You know, we're going to keep some of them. We're going to get to keep some of them, and there's a bunch that are going to go away, and they're never going to get into the thing, and it didn't do what they want for their career, or, you know, or they break up with the person and they're not together, whatever. But at the end of the day, you know, they came to the table, and some of them will probably stay.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, you know, and just getting people exposed, because it's not even just like, I want to expose you so that you know that gaming is awesome and you should be gaming with us. It's like, we want to expose you to the game, because it's like, we don't want to feel uncomfortable talking about gaming in front of you because it's faux pas, or it's this weird, strange thing that a bunch of sweaty guys do in a basement that still live with their mom. It's like, I'm a very successful businessman who has a wife and a child. Like, you know, it's not, it's not a whole bunch of sweaty teenagers or guys that didn't want to grow up that still want to do this game. It's a cool, fun, interesting hobby that is an alternative way to spend your time than sitting on the couch and parking your ass in front of the television for 4 hours a night. So that's, you know, I think is always a good thing, to just expose people to the game as much as possible, even if they're not playing. You know, we're not summoning demons down here, okay?
Not yet. So, guys, let's jump into the roll call. Where are you guys coming from? As always, we love to hear from you. We've got like 67 people and watching live, so in the chat, so that's always cool. We got Unmade Gaming in there. We got Tabletop Gaming with Juice in there. Jim Davies from WebDM. You're bringing them all out today, Cody.
Man, dude, it's that thumbnail game. It's that Todd Boyce. What's up, Dallas? Oh, Ed does everything. What's up, Dallas, Texas?
Yeah.
What's going on, DFW? Hell yes. Oh, another one. Look at this. Look at the Dallas love rolling in here.
Yeah, man, we got them from all over. Geeking Undies in Circleville, Todd in Dallas. We've got some more Dallas with Ed does everything.
Pittsburgh, New Mexico.
Yeah, Sean in Santa Barbara. We got Weird and Quirky in Indiana. Jim Davis, I think, is in Vermont.
Dublin and Long Island, New York. Holy crap.
We got Raven coming to us from the OZ. We got Mars Whip in Dallas. And Mars Whip is actually, I want to thank you, because you're actually the one that helped me with Fantasy Grounds the other day. And he's part of Fantasy Grounds College. So super awesome dude. And he's in Dallas. Shivs the Stabbers in Oklahoma. We got Michigan in the house with Juice.
Essex, England.
Yeah.
Lingoping. How do you? Oh God, Lin Coping. Linkoping, Sweden, right?
Yeah,
Linkoping.
yeah, Lincoln. I just say Sweden.
It's got to be Link.
Yeah, we also have Jeff from Luxembourg. So today we got Mike from Essex. I think you said that one, but we are very, very international today.
Dude, we are so international. I got that thumbnail game, man. I'm telling you, Dave. Let me just tell you, buddy. I would make your thumbnails so. Just make your thumbnails good. That's what I do. It's these eyebrows. It's bringing them in.
That's it, man. You're the McDonald's of thumbnails.
I told Will Jones has got his D&D sex icon. I gotta, and Jim Davis has his magnificent bastard. We gotta get a moniker, Dave. What would your moniker be? The gray beard?
I don't know, man. It depends where I'm at on the die.
It's kind of regal though. If you were running Saver Dice, what would your moniker be?
Man, I don't know.
I know. We'll take suggestions, right?
Yeah, we'll let them come up with it. I'm not good at that stuff. I don't like to talk about me. Oh, what I wanted to say, like we were talking about it. When we were out in LA, I was talking to some of the guys setting up for Maze Arcana, and they were really we were talking about gatekeepers, right, in the community, and the idea of why would you want to keep like the opposite sex out of this thing you do? Why would you not want to like be able to meet cool, amazing people that like the thing that you like? And he was talking about, back in the 80s being on a date with a friend of his. And, back then, like you didn't talk about gaming. You didn't tell people what you did on your Saturday nights or whatever. Mm-hmm. And they were out and they were having drinks and they were getting really relaxed. And the date was going amazingly well. And his buddy, who was kind of like a little more of an introvert, was starting to loosen up. And then he started talking about gaming.
No, you dropped on me, Dave.
That was the off switch on the date.
Oh, okay. So I'm sorry, you broke up. So when he started talking about gaming, that just turned everything off on the date?
Yeah, it was going smooth. He's like, definitely second date, and then started talking about gaming, and it was over.
Yeah, I mean, but I think, like, okay, I have two feelings. On one hand, like, yeah, I get it. Like, that sucks. Because that's who you are, and that people aren't into it also, that it's not a big deal. Like, I get that sucks. But on the other hand, I also can see that if somebody's just not into what you're into, like if my wife had been like, I love polishing and refinishing hand-built boats, I'd be like, great. And they're like, yeah, and then boats are amazing, and I just want boats. I'd be like, all right. Let's kill this. This isn't gonna happen again.
It's not working. Yeah, but I think the difference is, like, at that time, D&D was so socially unacceptable. It was
very true.
I mean, we're talking about back in the Satanic Panic era, and even into the 90s, it was so uncool. To be a gamer,
man, it's so the truth. And you still had, you had the Satanic Panic in the 80s, and then that bled over into the 90s easily. My dad still doesn't like what I do. I mean, and it's just like, seriously, Pops, come on. I mean, like, I'm a 30-year-old successful businessman with a mortgage, 2 car payments, a kid, a wife. Like, I do stuff on YouTube. He hates it. He thinks we're going to summon demons and all that. It's the craziest thing.
Keep trying, man.
He doesn't even go to church, and he's like, "You're summoning demons." It's just like, all right. Like, some people, I drive a Chevy because my daddy drove a Chevy, and his dad. It's just, you're not going to get through to those people, and that's okay.
No, it's just the way it is,
dude.
Wait, do you go to church?
Yes and no. I will speak plainly. I would consider myself very religious. I'm a practicing Christian. I have a lot of issues with the big Texas churches that we have down here and how gaudy they are. GAWDY versus GODLY. And so I don't really go to church. But I'm a very religious individual. I pray every single night, and we pray over meals, and I try to keep faith and stuff like that. But I don't attend a church regularly. If you'd like to know,
I'm a creaster myself. I'm I'm not particularly religious at all, but it makes my wife happy if I go like during the big holidays. But you know, she was, when I met her, she was in choir, and she still like teaches Sunday school and goes to church every week or whatever. I figure if there's a God, that might be good enough to get me in. I mean, I was banging a choir. Remember, if that doesn't get you into church, what
that's not how that works, Dave. Man, that's not how that works.
I gotta sleep with a priest.
We'll talk off stream, buddy. That's not how that works. Oh, I think Juice is telling on me here.
Oh no,
yeah, Juice. Yeah, I got to. For those of you guys who don't know, Juice. My wife couldn't make it to Gen Con this year, so I was called Juice up and was like, "Hey man, I got a ticket. It says Georgiana on it with a badge, but I got a hotel room and like come hang if you want to make the drive." And so yeah, last minute Juice got to come hang and got to see me in my sexy night outfits and our 4 a.m. getting back to the hotel room and missing all the events the next day. It was crazy, man. It was crazy.
Well, my buddy Mark that games with us, and he's actually my daughter's godfather. He does the same thing. He prays over every meal, and so I don't really like I said, we were talking before we got started, and I'm like one of the most unempathetic people on the planet. I just don't care what other people do if it doesn't affect me and it's not hurting other people. Do whatever you want. Whatever makes you happy. If you're not hurting people, don't care.
Yes, Doug. Under Armour makes PJ. I don't know. I love me some. Is that like a running joke in the community that I always wear Under Armour shirts?
I think it might be all you own.
Dude, okay, it is all I own. Like, as a fat guy, right? As a fat guy, it's like you buy t-shirts and then they shrink up on you. And so you got this big fat belly sticking out and your t-shirt's all shrunk up. I hate it, right?
That's
and so,
okay, you live in Texas.
Well, yeah, I mean, but then, I had to dress nice for work, right? And I got so tired of like long button-ups and ties. And so I was like, I'm just going to start. I bought a polo and I was like, this is dope. Like, I'm going to wear this shit again. And so I started buying more and more and more and more. So I think I have like 12 to 15 Under Armour polos, and I have like 4 t-shirts now. I got rid of all my t-shirts. I just don't wear them. And I just wear my Under Armour shirts to work. I wear them when I go out to Six Flags with my family. I wear them when I get up and make YouTube videos. I just love them, man. They're comfortable. They don't shrink.
That should be
They're worth the money. Oh man, if they would sponsor me. But they're like, what do they want? This fat kid making D&D videos to make them any money. But I endorse Under Armour. I'm just saying. I'm gonna throw that out there. And when they start making tennis shoes in a wide, I'll be wearing those too.
Oh, nice. Juice is cracking me up over here with the UA is Unearthed Canon, not Under Armour.
Oh my gosh. Oh, I would never get an Under Armour tattoo. That is awful. No. And yes, Mike, purple is my brand. Oh my gosh.
Juice said something about your camera angles are. Well, I think it was a disconnector. Maybe he's like, you use those to mask the fatness. I don't know.
Yeah, something like that.
It's hard, man. It's hard being a gamer and having a family and going to work and going to the gym. Dude, I started going to the gym with my son a couple months ago, and now my friggin' left side is completely banged up. Got something going on with my hip. If I stand or walk too long, it's like agony. My hip flexor on the left side is double the size of the right one. My elbow, I've got tendonitis, and there's something going on with my shoulder. Like, I was doing squats at the gym on a Smith machine, and I would do them with one arm because it hurt to hold my arm up. And my son is like, "Oh, Dad, you're doing it with one arm." I'm like, "Yeah, because it's just a Smith machine, and I don't really need to balance the weight, and I can't hold my arm back."
Dude, well, let's see. I mean, you got to be ripped by now, right? Like, you got to be ripped. Let's see it. Come on, let's see it. Let's see it.
There is no rippness, man.
Oh, come on, man. Let's see what you got here, man. Come on, let's see what you got. Let's see what you got. Let's see what you got right there, baby. Bow.
There you go. There you go.
This just took a beautiful turn. I love it.
Now I hurt my shoulder by flexing it from my arm.
Oh my gosh, dude.
It sucks because like when I used to actually be a personal trainer way back when.
Mm-hmm.
And I like moving heavy weights. I just enjoy it. I'm not really into working out, but if I do, picking up heavy things makes me feel better about it, right? And that's what I want to do. And one of the things I discovered going back to working out was that I'm actually still really strong with my muscles, but my joints are the joints of an old man.
Giving out. They've totally given out on you.
Yeah, they're like, no.
That sucks. Were you supposed to take fish oil?
Juice, he's like, Dave looks like a beast, but remember, he's miniature size.
Oh, that's true. I love you, Dave. I love you with all my heart. But when you showed up, I was like, oh, okay. I think it's because, dude, Ted has to be even shorter than you, right? Like,
we're pretty close to the same size. You know what? But I'm broader, so I think it makes me look bigger.
Is that why you guys make Nate sit in the back on the videos?
Yeah,
he's so tall, so it's like a perspective thing.
Yeah, yeah. Nate's really, he probably doesn't like me talking about this, but I don't see him in the chat. He's really subconscious about his size.
About how big he is?
Yeah, because he's a big guy, so he's always trying to make himself look smaller. I'm like, what are you doing, dude? You're giant.
Yeah, man. Like, dude, there's no issues with that. Oh my gosh.
He's like, I think he's like 6'1", 6'2", something like that.
Look, all I'm saying is, if without Nate, how are we going to get more women in gaming? Oh my gosh, I'm having too much fun. Somebody asked earlier if I would recommend Gen Con. Yes, I would. You know, there's a lot of nuances to it. There's things I like, there's things I don't. To just say, should you go at least once or not? I would say go do it. Yeah, I think it's interesting enough to go there and just be like, wow, this is like really, really overwhelming. I will tell you, if you're not going there for just the pomp and circumstance, but you're actually going to game, then you should be like totally on point with your signups and your scheduling months ahead of the actual event. If you just want to go and just like soak it all in and you don't really care if you're gaming, you just want to be around gaming and the nerd culture and to walk the showroom floor every single day like I did, then yeah, I think it's still worth going. I barely played at all. I walked around and hung out with Dave and hung out with Mike and Juice and Rudy, and just we got to hold a beer and talk to Mike Merles in a bar at 1 o'clock in the morning. Like it was a ton of fun. So if you're going to just be there for the pomp and circumstance, I think it's worth it. I still think it's worth it.
In retrospect, I should have escorted Mike to one of the tables because it took them forever to realize he was there. And if I would have just hit him away a little bit, they would have never known.
Yeah, dude, you had him like right on the thing. But it's funny because you're like, this is Dave. I'm gonna tell you guys a Gen Con story. Dave is like, all right, Cody, I got this. We got this Geek and Sundry party we're going to later. I can't get you into this one though. I can't get you in. You're not big enough. I can't get you in. And so then Bill Allen calls. He's like, hey man, we're at the party. Where are you? So we're hanging out. We're like,
I ain't no Bill Allen, man.
I came back. I told Juice because he was staying with me. I was like, dude, I'm not partying again. This is so dumb. Like we're making so many bad decisions. Like I just need sleep so bad. And he's like, you're gonna go out and party tonight. I was like, no. And so then I get the call from Bill Allen. He's like, hey man, let's do this. Let's party. And so next thing I know, we're at the Geek and Sundry party. We're hanging out. And then it's like 3 o'clock and we're at a sushi place with Maze Arcana with Rudy and Satine. And it's just like, I don't even know what happened. It was just chaos. It was just a blur.
It was actually hard for me to get into that party.
It was fun. It was all of it was fun, man. All of it was fun. When I go this year, my wife will be there, and I'm actually gonna take my kid. So I'm gonna go there, no gaming. I'm gonna go there just to hang and to network and just meet people and walk the floor. I will tell you, for me, as small as I was, I had barely hit 10,000 subscribers when the first Gen Con was, when this Gen Con this year. Like day one, I hit 10,000 subscribers, and I had I would say maybe 10, 15 people stop me that weekend to just be like, hey, you're Cody, what's up? And take pictures with them and chat with them. And man, that was so much fun. Just meeting people that were excited about gaming. That was worth everything. That was so much fun. And of course, Dave's beard. Everybody recognized Dave and his beard.
They actually don't recognize me. They recognize the beard, which is kind of funny.
That's true. Because you had the hat on. You had the fun hat going the whole time.
I hate the sun. That's why. The only reason I got Mike Merles on the channel was because I met him at that party.
Yeah,
Like, other than that, the guys won't talk to me, man. Like, do I smell or something? What's going on?
Dude, oh my gosh. But you know what, Dave? Imagine what it's going to be like next year. And for those of you guys, I'll at least mention it here. For those of you guys in the live chat, we're going to be, I don't know about Dave. I don't know about you, but I'm going to be going to PAX South in San Antonio in January. I know that the WebDM boys, Pruitt is going to be there. Travis is going to be there. I think Jim is going to be there. I don't know, Jim, if you're here, let us know. And if you're going to be there. But we're definitely going to hit that up. And then I think in 2018, man, we're gonna plan some fan meetups. I think, don't you think? At like Origins or Gen Con or something like that.
I really would like to do PAX South, but that is so close, and those tickets are gonna be so expensive. Not the tickets, like not going to the con. Like I don't care about that. Like, but when I hear people complain about the cost of going to a con, I'm like, it's like $100 for a weekend is nothing. But
yeah, but it's the plane tickets that kills it.
It's the plane in the room, man.
Yeah, it's never the convention. It's the cost to get there that I think kills people.
But I will be at PAX Unplugged. I'll be hanging out with Mike from Unmade Games.
Oh yeah, dude, I couldn't go to PAX Unplugged. I don't know. Maybe I won't even tell my wife. Maybe I'll just sneak buy a plane tickets and be like, I'm leaving for the weekend. Have fun with Ben.
she won't notice.
Hey Mike, can I stay in your hotel room if I like go to PAX Unplugged in the last minute? Like, let me know. Hit me up, Mike.
It'll be so much fun.
Oh my gosh.
We're gonna be boothing.
Boothing at PAX Unplugged?
Yeah, we're booth beards, man.
So pitch me. What's the booth about? What you doing? What you doing with the booth? Uh-oh, he broke up.
From Open Legend.
Oh, so you're gonna be hanging out with Open Legend?
Yeah.
When Brian and all that?
Yeah, he asked us way back when to help man the table. So we're like, we're gonna be there anyway.
This is good experience, man. It's good experience. I still think we should run a convention down here in Dallas, man. Just all of the fun Twitch streamers and YouTube content creators and just gaming. Just man, right here in Dallas, Texas, it'd be nice, centrally located. I think it'd be a lot of fun.
I think Ohio needs another event.
Ohio, but don't they already have Origins?
Yeah, they do.
Like Dallas has nothing. Well, they have Acon. They have Acon. That's really it.
Yes, Rai from Open Legend will be there too. That's what he goes by. I was going to say his last name. I'm like, I'm going to butcher the F out of that, so I'm not even going to bother. Well, we are way past the hour mark at this point, and I actually have a meeting to get to.
Boo.
I know, meetings. What are you going to do? That's my life. It just consists of meetings. But I want to thank everyone for hanging out and Cody for popping on last minute. Greatly appreciate it. And hopefully, guys, we'll see you Wednesday night with Saver Dice and Sister Scarlet Sisterhood tonight. So
yeah, so I'll just pitch real quick. So if you don't know who I am, Taking 20. I've got YouTube videos here, and then I'm on Saver Dice. Season 2 is tomorrow night at 8 o'clock Central Standard Time, 9 o'clock Eastern. So
there's a ton of links too in the description. Also, Dungeon Painter Studios has a contest that's still going on.
Yeah, true.
That link is in the description as well.
True. So yeah, we're giving away 4 copies of Dungeon Painter Studio. Like, dude, and I got to tell you honestly, we've had some people sign up, but not as many as we normally do. So there's like a good chance that you guys might be able to snag a copy yourself, or you or one of your friends. So go into the competition; it's totally free.
Yeah, under the competition, and you can check out the free version they have up, which is pretty cool. You can still do a lot of stuff with it. I've definitely made maps over there before. So it was cool to find out they were our sponsor. I'm like, I know those guys. Well, you said Dungeon Painter Studios. I'm like, who's that? And then you're like, Pyromaster.com. I was like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, that made more sense.
Robert Ogre had turned me on to those guys a couple years ago. So, all right, guys, until next time, stay nerdy.